19th century, there was this conservation studio for Majolica vases. Do you know what Majolica vases? Yes, they were very beautiful, colorful vases. Sometimes you see them on Antiques Roadshow. And that was their job. They date from like the Renaissance and the Baroque period, and they were like conserving it. Well, one of their conservators there, Riccardo Riccardi, got the idea of, these are pretty easy to do. Why don't we just make one? They started selling forgeries of them. Then they got maybe a little too ambitious for themselves. Even though they never actually got caught for doing this, they decided on some really big money, a big game. So they were seeing at this particular time that they were just in the 19th century discovering, because really the whole thing, archaeology as a discipline, really only dates back to like the 18th century, Heinrich Schliemann and his discovery of Troy and so forth. So what they did is that they decided that with all these Etruscan works being unearthed, because they were in Orvieto, which is part of Tuscany, that they would get in on the game. And these Etruscan works look like that, found in a tomb, a tumulus. Now that's a real one right there. That's a real Etruscan work there, in the collection of the Cleveland Museum of Art. And they created these famous warriors for the Metropolitan Museum. Now all these museums, the Met, the Boston Museum of Fine Arts, the Cleveland Museum of Art, the Chicago Institute of Art, they were flooding Europe with agents. They were just starting their collections. The Cleveland Museum started in 1916, and the Met was, it was begun, I think it was in 1880 or something like that. So they were sending out their agents because they needed work. Most things were really sold by that time. Things were being unearthed all the time, that is true. But they were really hungry for big things, big ticket things. So they thought they'd get in on the game, and they created some Etruscan warriors. They were made out of clay. The problem is the wrong kind of clay. Not the clay that you find in Tuscany. And stylistically, they don't match either. I mean, look at this guy here. The proportions, he looks like he's 6'10" and could play basketball for the Cavs. I mean, they're just all these spidery proportions, the stiffness of this figure, but where it really fell apart was the style of the helm. You know what kind of helm that is compared to these? You don't see that type of, cheek flap on an Etruscan helmet. That's a Greek hoplite helmet. Should not be on an Etruscan warrior. Well, they didn't know that. So these things all fall apart. But this made it into the 20th century, and it wasn't until 1960 that it was finally debunked. So the guys got, they had been long dead by then. Whoopee! We had all this money, and we can afford a great and grand funeral by conning people.